So picture this, June 11th, 1997. The NBA Finals is deadlocked, 2-2, with the Utah Jazz facing off against the Chicago Bulls, and Game 5 is about to happen, and the greatest basketball player on the planet is Michael Jordan, but he is sick. He can barely stand, he's pale, he's sweating, and in pain, and everyone is wondering, will he play tonight, or will the Jazz be able to steal a win and maybe a championship? We're going to take a look today inside the locker room, onto the court, in this battle for a dynasty in a game that is so iconic, it has its own name, as we're going to dive into the flu game of Michael Jordan on Daily Sports History. Let's go! Welcome to Daily Sports History. I'm Ethan Reese, your guide, as you daily learn more about sports history, increasing your sports knowledge. So we come to 1997, it's the NBA Finals, and the Utah Jazz, coached by Jerry Sloan, are representing the West, and the Chicago Bulls are representing the East, coming off a championship the previous year and winning and trying to make it 2 in a row on their way to a possible repeat and maybe three-peat again. And this truly was one of the hardest challenges in the Michael Jordan dynasty era for the Chicago Bulls, because the Jazz were at the top of their game at this time. They had one of the best all-star duos that's ever been in John Stockton, one of the greatest assisters in NBA history, and power forward Karl Malone, who was a scoring force. They had been to the Western Conference Finals 3 times in the last 4 years and lost every single time. But they finally got over that hump, as Karl Malone had an MVP season and they had a franchise record in 64 wins. But they were facing the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, who had a great season. They won 69 games that year, which was third best all time, but just short of their last year total of 72 wins. And they would make their way easily through the Eastern Conference, losing just 2 games on their way to the finals. And the team split their regular season matchups, so it was thought to be a very close game against two very good teams. And the Bulls took the first 2 at home, and the Jazz won 2 games at their home. So the series was tied 2-2. And at this time, the series was a 2-3-2 format. So the higher seed played 2 games at home, the lower seed would play 3 games in a row at home, then the higher seed would play the final 2 games at home. So this was the last game in Utah. And if they could win this game, it would give them a lead just 1 game away. And if the Jazz could win this last home game, it would give them an advantage, go up in the series, being just 1 game away from their first championship. But there was another teammate they had that they didn't know about. See, the night before this game, Michael Jordan fell ill at the hotel room in Salt Lake. By the morning, his condition got worse. He was pale, sluggish, throwing up. He was dehydrated, had a fever, but his doctors weren't really sure what it was. Now, for years, it's been known as the flu game. He's been suffering from flu-like symptoms, dehydrated, exhausted, difficulty breathing, so he might have the flu. But the way it came on so fast, they're not really sure that's exactly what it was. There's a theory out there that it was food poisoning. See, Michael Jordan got a pizza the night before, and he was the only one to eat it. He ordered the pizza, and unusually, 5 men delivered the pizza. You only usually need 1 man. But you're delivering to the Bulls, you might get to see an NBA player. I mean, that seems likely thing to do, as lots of people were excited for the NBA at the time. But by 2 a.m., after he ate the pizza, and he was the only one to eat the pizza, he was curled up in pain. And many think he was actually had food poisoning, whether intentional or not. Some think it was intentional, which would be more malice. They think that it was Utah fans giving him bad food to make him feel bad so they could win the next game. Okay, that could be. It was 5 guys delivering it, but it could just be bad food. And if any being in your 30s and eating a pizza late at night, it's going to wreck you no matter what. But it seemed to stick around longer than food poisoning. Another theory is that he had altitude sickness. Now, Salt Lake City is 42,000 feet above sea level, and it takes a physical toll to play multiple days in that location that you're not used to. Now, could be. Now, Jordan's played in Utah before without issues. but usually not 3 games in a row. And he exerts himself a lot compared to other athletes. He is ball heavy. He's conditioning more than others. He's practicing more than others. It's a very good theory that he wore himself out and got altitude sickness. Whichever it is, we don't inherently know. A better title would be the sick game. Michael is sick. We don't know what it was, but he was sick of some type. But flu game sounds better than sick game. Problem was, no one even knew if Michael was going to play that day. The game was at night, so he had all day to get himself right. He rested, he got electrolytes, drank Gatorade, drank water. Eventually, they actually gave him 5 cups of coffee, and that was right before the game started. That actually seemed to do the trick somehow, at least get him enough ready to dress for the game. Now, he was the leader, but Scottie Pippen had come into his own. He averaged over 20 points and 8 rebounds during this series. And that year, when Michael Jordan was not on the team, he finished 3rd in the MVP voting for the league. So he had a good running mate. It's not that if Michael didn't play, that they couldn't win. They didn't just have Michael Jordan. They had Scottie Pippen, they had Dennis Rodman, they had Tony Kukoc. So they could pull this out, even if he couldn't play. But the game starts and Michael drinks his 5 cups of coffee and he's ready to dress for the game. Even though he looks weak, he looks uneasy. Even broadcasters and fans are questioning if he even has the condition to make it through the entire game. But the game starts and the Jazz take a big lead after the first quarter, 29-16. The home crowd is into the game and Jordan is struggling. But the whole team was struggling. It's a confusing thing for the team. Jordan really ran their offense, and in that first quarter, he had 4 points. It took him a while to maybe adjust how they were playing, but the second quarter comes, and Jordan starts to put things together. He starts to figure things out. But an adrenaline thing that can happen when you play sports, that you are going through this, and he was able to eke out 17 points in the second quarter and single-handedly brought them back into the game. And the Jazz only led by 4 points going into half. But the question was, how was he going to come out of the half? He was feeling it, but would the break in halftime cause him to be sluggish? Because whenever Jordan sat down on the bench, he was not himself, being up and alert. He was just like what you and me would be like if we were sick. Like sitting back, not into whatever they were doing. And in the third quarter, he came out sluggish. He only ended up playing 9 minutes, but Scottie Pippen and Luke Longley were able to keep them at least afloat, scoring 12 points between them, and they were only down by 5 at the end of the third quarter. Then came the fourth quarter, where Jordan shines. The Bulls were down 77-69, and Jordan helped lead a 10-point run, erasing the deficit and giving them the lead. Then with 25 seconds left, the score was tied. Scottie Pippen passed to a wide-open Jordan, who drained a three-pointer and put the Bulls up 88-85. And this was the really final dagger. The Jazz would go on the other side, and Greg Ostertag would be able to cut and score on a dunk, bringing the game to within 1 point with 11 seconds left. And the Bulls would be pressured and pass the ball across court to Luke Longley, who would dunk the ball on his own, giving them a 3-point lead. And the Jazz would be fouled, so they would not make a three-pointer, and John Stockton missed the first one and made the second, making a 2-point game, 90-88, but they were not able to foul the Bulls in time, and that was the final score. And Michael Jordan collapsed into Scottie Pippen's arm in an iconic moment in NBA history. And Michael Jordan said after the game, this was the hardest thing he ever had to do. And they were now up 3-2 in the series, and the game shifted over to Chicago, where in Game 6, the Bulls would win out, winning back-to-back championships, their 5th of the 90s, setting up a chance for them to go three-peat again. But this would be a rematch next year, as the Jazz would make it again to the finals, facing off against the Bulls. Sadly, similar outcome would happen, and they would lose out. And the Jazz since have not won an NBA title. And it's heartbreaking to have 2 Hall of Famers at the same time in Karl Malone and John Stockton and not win it. But it's all bad timing, as they came up against Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the 90s Bulls, who were one of the most dominant teams at the time. Sometimes it's all about timing. And the question is, what made Jordan sick? Was it the flu? Was it food poisoning, altitude sickness, or something else? What do you think? I want to thank you for listening to Daily Sports History. If you like this, please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you're at. That really helps us grow. And the more we grow, the more I can give you Daily Sports History. We'll see you